All right. Welcome, everybody. And I heard the music still going there, but I didn't see the little sign. Oh, hold on a second. I got my phone on. I'm being very unprofessional here. I don't know what's going on right now. But hey, everybody. Happy Tuesday and happy post Super Bowl day. Those of you that were rooting for the Eagles, congratulations. I have my little sign up here, green, and I normally have it flickering all the different colors and stuff, but I left it green because I know we have a few Eagle fans, and I'm going to turn that light down just a bit because it's glaring. But anyway, today we are talking about 10 things that you look forward to doing on cruise day or that you have to do. And some of these are going to be the same for everybody because, to be honest, you have to. Um, you have to do this before the ship can sail, a couple of these things. So you probably know where I'm going with that. But let me just say hi to everybody. And also, really quick, because I just saw in the comments, Frankie Floyd is birthday today. So happy birthday, Frankie. And he started it off with the super chat, even. So you got to love that. So cheers to Frankie. Thank you. And happy birthday, Frankie. But let's say hi to everybody else. We have Rick, the Texas Cruiser, down in Galveston, where I'll be headed just next month. Super look forward to my cruise. And Rick is a resident down there. Then we have Tim over in Florida with Cheryl in Ocala. I think it's Ocala, right? Is that how you pronounce it? And then we have Greg and Michelle. Cruise Life TV is in the house. Good to see you too, as always. Yeah, and they say they're looking forward to this top 10. I'm sure we can all come up with a few more. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And like I say, some of these things are things that we look forward to, and then a couple of them are things that you should do, and a couple of things you have to do. So we'll get through the whole list. I'm pretty confident. And I have a big announcement today about a guest that will be actually two guests that will be on the same show. It for star quality, it is going to be the biggest show ever in Coach Cruise history. Just next month, I will announce that just a little bit later. But I spoke with one of the guests today, and yeah, it's going to go down March 18th, right before my cruise. So hold tight. I will come up with that announcement. Zoe's here trying to eat the whole plate of treats before we even get started. All right. So then we had Frankie Floyd. Like I say, happy birthday, Frankie. And let's see, we have the gold goes to Rick, the Texas Cruiser. Silver, Admin Tim. And Cruise Life TV gets the bronze. And Frankie gets the birthday. All right. Let's see who else has checked in. If you've not checked in yet, throw something in the comments. We got Ken Pascal here. What's going on, Ken? And Amy and Logan are here. Good to see you too, as always. I just saw them, as a matter of fact, had a burger with them. So that was cool. Michelle B., the ship wanderer, is checking in, saying hi to everybody. We got Will G back once again. Great to see you, as always, Will. The Carnival Cruise Addicts are here. Chris and Liz, great to see you too. And Marjorie is back once again. Says hi and good evening. Hello, J&T Adventures. Hello. Kimberly Lavelle is back once again. Good to see you, Kimberly. Whatever floats your boat is here. Says, hey, y'all. Let's get through some more of these. Ken Lesko is here. Good to see you, Ken. We got Rick. And it's funny you should mention that, Rick. I do still have a little bit of Old Forester left. But if somehow, some way I get through that, we got the Buffalo Trace right there and waiting. So we're thinking great minds, as they say, right? All right. Kimberly says 5 days, and I think you're in the same ballpark as, well, no, Frankie, I think is like 18 days or 13 days. You're only 5 days. So yeah, this is great. This is great. We got some cruises coming up. Mine is next month. We got a few people on here with cruises coming up. Mimi Melly 2023 from Virginia Beach, Virginia. I'm sure it's warmer there than it is here. Supposed to be getting a big storm. Amy K says, hi, interested in learning more about Carnival Cruise experiences and really love your dog. All right. Well, thank you. Appreciate that. And right now, she's really loving some treats. And then, okay, so you know what, Rick, I didn't even write you down. Thank you for that super chat. I have you written down now. Your numbers 16 through 20. Frankie Floyd is 11 through 15. And Angie from last week is numbers 1 through 10. And then looky here, we have Tim G with a $15 super chat. So for those of you that are new to the channel, what that means is when somebody does a $10 super chat, Zoe here gets a special treat. And if somebody does a $15 more super chat, she gets a treat and I do a shot. And high five for Tim and Cheryl. What do you say to them? She says a big hearty thank you. She's very happy about that treat. Act like the dog never eats. All right. Well, Tim and Cheryl, we're going to get to work on this Old Forester. And if we have a busy day today, we might even get to the bottom of it. But Tim and Cheryl, cheers to you. Also, Frankie Floyd, cheers for your birthday. So we'll do a couple cheers all around. And Rick, thank you for that super chat earlier. So, yeah, here we go. Thank you so much. All right. Ooh. Okay. Need some warming up. That'll do it. Seg 183 is here. It says, I'm back. All right. Good to see you, Seg. All right. We got a lot of people posted in the comments. Love it. And our spectacular supporter, that is one Danny D, is here. So very cool. All right. So I guess we can get started, right? And yeah. Oh, sure. Look at that. Tim. Yeah, I wrote you down, Tim. Oh, my screen just blew up. And guess what? We have a Super Bowl champion in our midst. I know this because Jay and Sherry, I friends with on Facebook, and I saw all the Eagle pictures. And I will say this. Let me just say, first off, I'm sure there's some Chief fans out there or some people that were rooting for the Chiefs. I'm a Raiders fan, so they're in our division. So it's kind of like, if you know, like the Bears-Packers rivalry, you know, like they're always against each other and things like that. That's kind of how it is for the Chiefs and the Raiders. So I almost have to root against the Chiefs. And then, yeah, so it was easy for me. So I had like an Eagle-like jersey on. And I know Jay and Sherry are actually real Eagle fans. So they were very, very excited. And they were Super Bowl champions. So Sherry and Jay and everybody that wants to congratulate them. And I know Zoe wants to give a big high five for the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, don't you? And say thank you to Jay and Sherry. And there it is. And I will do a shot to those Super Bowl champions. Thank you so much, Sherry and Jay, for that. And you got us really close to giving away that next shirt. And Sherry, I owe you a shirt from last week, I do believe. So you might have two coming here. But Sherry and Jay, 36 through 85, which means we are only 15 away from giving away that shirt. So Sherry and Jay, I'm sure you would appreciate this, but cheers to the Eagles, Super Bowl champions, and congratulations to you for being the big fans and getting to enjoy it. All right. That was great. All right. Anybody else check in? Seg 183. Danny E says, let's go Eagles. All right. Awesome. Okay. So great start to the show. And we'll jump into this top 10 things. I'm going to give you a couple bonuses. All right. One thing I feel like you should do, I feel like everybody should do this just to avoid, trouble or something happening. And I'll give you, I shared this story before, but I'm going to share it again. And this is what got me to do this. I try to have, and I know some people are last minute packers, right? Everybody procrastinates at something, but you could be a last minute packer, but at least make your last minute be the night before. And what you want to do is you want to have like a book bag or some kind of bag that has all your documents in it, your passport, your boarding pass, everything that's in one compartment. And don't just rest with that. I mean, put it in there the night before that it's in there. But they even go so far as to double check before you walk out the door, whatever compartment you put those documents in, open that compartment up and make sure that you didn't accidentally go sleepwalking or something and take it out of there. Make sure that it's in there. Okay. And then you'll also know by knowing that it's in that compartment and right where it is. When you get to the cruise port, you'll know, okay, I can just pull out my documents here, have them in my hand ready, because, as you start the boarding process, you're obviously going to need that. So yeah, my suggestion, have all your documents in the same place and in a bag. So when you leave, whether you're driving to port or you're flying, you know exactly where it is. So that's kind of like a bonus one. Now, you have the documents, you're on your way to the cruise port, and the number one thing I see that we can't wait to see on cruise day is the ship itself. So when you're driving up and your first glimpse of the ship and you're like, there it is, that is one of the cool experiences. And that's how close you are to starting your cruise and starting your vacation. I don't care if I go on 1,000 cruises. I think that every time I do that, I'll enjoy seeing that and look forward to that particular experience. So that's what I have as my first thing there. So I don't know how many of you are really tickled when you see the cruise ship. And yeah, if you are tickled, and that is a big deal for you to see that cruise ship on cruise day for the first time, when you round that corner or whatever, let me know. And look at this. Michelle B says, Zoe needs a treat. You need a shot. I need a shirt and a shot. Well, Michelle B, you might just get one here, because we are going to have to do the drawing now. And yeah, Zoe sure acts like she needs a treat, even though she just had a couple. So high five from Michelle B. And what do you say? Oh, she says thank you quickly. She really wanted that. All right. Well, we're getting down there on the old Forester. So thank you for this. And we will do a drawing here right after I do this shot, because we have now reached 100. And then we'll go to number 2 on our list, which I kind of just mentioned, but it's still number 2. After you park or get dropped off. So Michelle, thank you. All right. That one went down a little easier. Okay. We got to do the drawing. All right. So Angie B from last week is numbers 1 through 10. Frankie Floyd is 11 through 15. Rick Wade, 16 through 20. Tim G, admin Tim, 21 through 35. Sherry B and Jay, 36 through 85. And Michelle B, 86 through 100. All right. So you see the top of my phone just has the time there. Siri, give me a random number 1 through 100. 39. What number is 39? And Sherry, it was close this time. Tim just missed. Tim had 21 through 35. Sherry B, 36 through 85. And the number, as you see, was 39. So Sherry, you have got another shirt, and the winning just keeps on coming. Sherry has said and gone on record saying that she's lucky, in the casino, and her team just won the Super Bowl, and now she wins on Coach Cruise as well. Congrats, Sherry. And yeah, we will start off on the next drawing here. And let me just cross these out. And so the next super chat, and there's a really good chance we get through a second one because we got through that first one so fast. So, yeah, appreciate that, everybody. And great start to the show. Okay, so number two, I just kind of talked about it briefly. But once you get to the cruise port, I see people do this all the time. Literally every time I go on a cruise, you don't have your stuff ready when you start to go into the, where they look at your documents and stuff, when you get in line, and you'll get to the front of the line and you'll see people and they're digging through their bags and stuff, trying to find a passport, trying to find a boarding pass, trying to find something that they need to show the person that's checking you in. Never fails. Never fails. Not to mention, usually when you are even starting to get in the line, they'll have a couple people and they'll say, hey, have your boarding passes out, have them in your hand. And that's still, even with those people standing there saying that, I mean, some of them won't even let you in the line unless you're holding the boarding pass, but they don't, they're not worried so much about the passports and things like that. So like I say, there's always somebody that doesn't have their stuff together. So you want to make sure, like I say, have a book bag or something like that, or a purse, whatever it is. And you have all your boarding documents, everything in hand. And so you can just whip them right out as soon as you get in line or get to that part of the line where, they're going to ask you for them. Everything's right there. Everything's ready. Okay. All right. So my number 3 thing that we get excited about as cruisers, or at least I get excited about, is waiting impatiently for the announcement to board. So if you get there before they even start boarding, you're going to be in a waiting area, or you could get there, and unless you get there late, chances are, if you're not diamond or platinum and you can't kind of just walk on after they've started boarding, you're going to have to wait. And they call you in by groups and they say, okay, we're taking group C1 or something like that now. And then once C1 hits and that's you're all excited, right? But until they actually call you and say, okay, we're letting people on, or we're letting your group on, I mean, when they finally do that, you're super excited, or you're excited for them to announce that. So that's what I have down as number 3. So let me know what you think about that. North Shore Travelers, by the way, they are going on a cruise as well. As a matter of fact, Eric sent me a picture of the luggage and everything packed up. And that is, I told him, it's a beautiful picture. When you see, because we all know what that means. If your bags are packed, right, and you see everything, packed, ready to go, it's vacation time. And yeah, they're getting ready to go on the Mardi Gras. So I know they're super pumped about that. Oh, Sherry says, I'll give my shirt to Carnival Cruise Addicts. That is so sweet. So yeah, we will take care of that. North Shore Travelers is saying hello to everybody. And yeah, okay. All right, so let's go on to number 4. Okay, this one is kind of corny. And if you're not guilty of this, I need to know in the comments. If you are a dork like me, and I feel like it's about 90% of the people that cruise, when you start to go on the ramp, the ramp, you go up and you take a turn and you take another turn, you take another turn, and then you're on the ship. That ramp, that sky ramp, or whatever the heck you want to call it, when we're all in there, and I film it almost every time, but once you're on there, you're like this close to getting on the ship and starting your cruise, right? So Who out there is not a dork? Who doesn't care about that? I think we all do. So if you're not a dork, if that doesn't do anything for you, I want to know in the comments that you're not a dork, because I feel like anybody that's on that ramp and is about to get on the ship gets like a little kid and like, here we go. We're almost about ready to board, or at least thinks that. So that's what I have as number 4. So Carnival Cruise Addict says big freaking dorks here. Yeah. And I feel like most of us are, right? So Cruise Life TV says we just posted the ramp and the jump in our last. Yeah, Seg 183 says jump across. Tim G says I'm too busy watching people. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, that is like, that's part of the whole cruise experience, right? Is getting on the ship, those last steps, the last couple turns to get on the ship. Sea Leg Journey says dork in the house. Yeah. Like I said, I would be surprised. I think we're all dorks when it comes to that. and going up that little ramp and being all excited about it like little kids, right? All right. Okay, now 5, 6, and 7, these could be interchangeable. These don't have to be in the exact order that I put them. In fact, I don't do them in this exact order all the time. Drinking a little more bourbon, but that's mixed with Coke. Sea Life Journeys, I don't know if I formally introduced you. I know I mentioned your comment. And like I said, we got Eric from North Shore Travelers. Mark R. Booze is in the house. Yes, just very much so. We usually jump the ramp. Yeah, very cool. And Mark, I believe you were just on a cruise or you were on vacation somewhere, because I saw some vacation pics. So yeah, that's cool. Okay, so I'll put down 5. And again, some of you are going to call me out on this because you might do one of 6 or 7 before you do 5, or vice versa. But here's what I put down for 5: drinks and lunch, and drop the bags off if you can. So for those of you that are platinum or diamond, or you have faster the fun, one of the things that they usually allow you to do, I'm not sure exactly the rules on some of the other cruise lines, Royal and things like that, but they let you drop your bags off even if the rooms aren't fully cleaned and ready to go yet. You can throw your bags in the room, and I usually stuff mine in a closet if the room's not ready, just to get it out of eye view since the door is open and everything, and then head off to grab lunch or a drink or whatever, right? So that's that. Once you get to the bags to the room, most people at least have a carry-on or something. I know some of you may just opt to have all your bags brought up. I'm scared to do that because I've seen people lose their bag. And then I've seen the bags and come up very late. So lately, I've always just carried my bag on with me. And another reason that I bring my bag on with me is because the bar crawls, I usually have shirts that people haven't picked up yet. And I'm just afraid that if I leave my bag down there, it'll take forever to come up. And then it's going to, mess up me giving out the shirts to people and things like that. So I'm one of those people that I'm dragging my big old bag, it's on wheels, so it's not that big a deal. But, sometimes you got to carry it up a couple levels of steps and things like that. So that's me. So when I can get to the room and at least get that bag out of the way, I'm happy about that. And then some people are like, and I've done this too, you don't even go to your room right away. You see that bar and you're like, hey, let's start this thing off. Let's grab a drink. And some of you may or may not know this, at least with Carnival, you don't have to have your sail and sign card to get a drink. Your boarding pass can be your sail and sign card. So they'll take your boarding pass and scan it or enter the numbers on it or something like that. And they can look you up that way to charge a drink, onto your account. Or if you have Cheers and you're not in Texas where they don't count Cheers the first day, then you can do that as well. And New York is also the same as far as that first day, not counting Cheers. So that's how that works. Okay. So yeah. So drinks and lunch on the XL class. For example, Eric from North Shore Travelers is going on the Mardi Gras. Well, the Mardi Gras has a Shaq's Big Chicken. When I go on the Jubilee, that is probably going to be my lunch destination. And I know from past experience from going on the celebration and the Mardi Gras multiple times that that is a very popular place the day of embarkation. So I have the luxury of getting on early for being, a diamond platinum person. So that's usually one of the first things I do is if I can drop the bag off real quick and then head straight to Shaq's Big Chicken and grab some lunch. And then there's a bar back there, a Tides bar. So you can get a drink along with that if you want an adult beverage. So, yeah, so that's what I have down as number 5. And again, numbers 6 and 7 is in North Shore Travelers says Shaq's is our first stop after Muster. Yeah, and you know what? That's one of my next ones. So let me go through some. Oh, we got Scott here from Controversial Cruising. Good to see you, Scott. Okay, so I think Mark, I see you're telling. Oh, the Venezia. Okay, you were on the Venezia. Very cool. And I will be on the Venezia the middle of June. And also New Year's Eve next year, I'll be on the Venezia. Whatever floats your boat, get on the ship, drop our bags, then to Muster, then eat. Okay. Carnival Cruise Addict says Muster, bags, drink, food. Mark, in reference to the Venezia, beautiful ship. Age demographic was very much older on our cruise. It was an elite, so I'm sure that was part of it. Yeah, and the Venezia, I don't know if Mark will agree with me here. It seems a little bit more refined. I mean, all the ships in the Vista class, I think the color schemes and things like that and the decor is very nice. It's more contemporary on the Vista class ships, the Horizon, the Vista, and the Panorama. Whereas on the Venezia, you have a lot of that Italian themed, where you have the marble looking atrium and the statues of like David and the gondolas and things like that. So it has the look of trying to be a little bit more upscale and a little bit more artistic and things like that. And I think that vibe kind of resonates throughout the ship, at least on the one particular time I went on the Venezia. It didn't seem as much of a party vibe as I get on the the regular carnival ships, but there's a lot of nice things that the Venezia has to offer. If you all saw my interview with Mark Q, they have this restaurant called Il Viaggio, and the entrees are good. They're good. I wouldn't say they're amazing or anything like that, but they're very good. The couple entrees that I had. But the thing that is amazing is the dessert. And they have this dessert there called the Mile High Gelato Pie. And honestly, that just makes the whole meal just worth it for me. I mean, the pie, I swear, it's like this tall, a big old wedge of like ice cream pie, gelato pie, with a cookie crumbly crust, and just so good, like 3 different flavors. So good. So, yeah, Mark is be boarding the Liberty of the Seas February 1st for a wedding. First time on Royal. There we go. And I still have yet to be on Royal. I kid you not. Gonna get there. Gonna get there. Maybe next year will be the year. All right. Texas Cruiser says, Mark, I have the Liberty of the Seas, been on her 4 times, 34 days total. Awesome ship. I know a few people. I know Amy is watching with Logan. I believe they're going on the Harmony of the Seas out of Galveston. And Rick, I know you know that ship. So they'll be going on that. Amy says, speaking of Amy, she says, muster, drink, bags, and food in that order. Tim says, and men Tim, we always do the muster, then the bags, then the food, then the drink. If you're really close to the muster and you know right where the muster is, yeah. And, I think on the last cruise, I actually did do it that way with the muster first and then the bags and then the food and drinks. So, yeah, it's kind of nice. You want to get done with all that stuff that has to be done so you can just focus on fun, right? And, enjoying the vacation. Mark, and yeah, I share Mark's love of the Horizon. That is probably my favorite ship. I will be going on the Jubilee. I'm a big fan of the Mardi Gras. I really enjoyed the celebration, went on it several times. The Jubilee, I've only been on it one day for a VIP event. I had a great time on that one particular day. Looking forward to getting on the Jubilee March 22nd. I'm going to go ahead. You know what? I'm going to let you all in on something here. So, the big announcement for our show, March 18th, is I have Legendary. And I talked about this, I hinted at this, and then the dates weren't lining up with the work schedules and things like that for this particular guest. But the one and only Cookie, Jonathan Adams, is going to be back on the show March 18th. And wait, it gets even better. This guest, though, I cannot tell you about. It is going to amplify the Cookie being on the show even that much more. I mean, we are talking about a legendary cruise director will be joining Cookie on my show. I am so excited about it. I have never gotten the opportunity to ask this legendary cruise director any questions, and I have not told anybody. And I've already had a couple people ask, and I said, "Oh, I can't tell you. It's going to be a secret. You are going to have to tune in March 18th. And if everything, the stars stay aligned and all that other stuff, Cookie and this legendary cruise director will be together on this very show right now at this very time next month, right before I go on the Carnival Jubilee. And yeah, I am super pumped, super, super pumped. And yeah, I mean, you just don't mark that one down. Don't miss that one. That's all I'm going to say. Mimi Melly, what's your favorite Carnival ship? Yeah, Horizon. And like I say, the XL class is not far behind. The Dream class, I like. The Dream, the Carnival Magic, the Carnival Breeze. Those are all good ships as well. Down Under Cruisers is here. Says, good day, coach. Heard you had a meetup that I was not privy to. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was. Yeah, we had some content creators. We all got together. And yeah, it was a good time. And we went and had some Japanese buffet, and it was a wild thing how they did it. Never really been to a restaurant like that before, but it was cool. It was really cool. Cruise Life TV says, can't wait for that show. Oh, okay. They know who it is. Okay. I got to talk to you off to the side to see. I'm curious how you know, unless Cookie told you. So yeah, it's going to be. Let me just tell you, I'll give you all a hint. Okay. So this other person besides Cookie, I have talked to so many cruise directors throughout Carnival. So you know that they're probably Carnival. And this person was like probably their biggest mentor. And, and how they did their job as cruise directors. I couldn't believe how many people brought the second guest that's going to be along with Cookie and saying how instrumental they were and their thoughts on being a cruise director and becoming a cruise director and some of the things they learned from this particular person. And then that's why I was so wanting them to be part of this show. And so it just kind of came together that I was able, to get Cookie, and this person was instrumental for Cookie as well. And we all know, how legendary Cookie has been for Carnival. So yeah, it's yeah, I'm like so pumped. I'm gonna be a fan along with everybody else watching. I promise. I'm just gonna be just giggly on that one. All right. Will G says you kind of gave it away. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna say Down Under Cruisers is throwing a name out there. I'm not gonna say. The only one I'll say for sure is Cookie. Okay, but yeah, and it might the second guess could possibly surprise you. I mean, it could be a big surprise. You'd be like, "Oh my God, surprise!" I don't know. All right, let's move on. Okay, so some of you already talked about this. Okay, so we're gonna go number 6 with the muster drill. Now, like I said, 5, 6, and 7, I said you could interchange these. They didn't have to be in a specific order. And sometimes I didn't always do them in that specific order. But I put muster drill. So for 5, just in case we forgot, I said, drop bags if you can, and then, get some drinks and lunch. And then I have muster drill. But as you get on the ship, if the muster drill is like right there, close to you, absolutely do the muster drill first. Get that out of the way, even if you're dragging bags behind you. Take care of that. But I have that as number 6. Okay, so let's jump on to number 7. And that is to soak in the first views of the ship as you plan where you'll spend a lot of your time. Okay, so let's say that you've already had your lunch and had some drinks and stuff, and now you have a little bit of time. It's still relatively early. It might be 1:30, 2 o'clock, 2:30. Maybe you've already been to the cabin, dropped off all your stuff, unpacked a little bit, and now you got an hour or so to kill before the sail away party, right? And you're just like, okay, well, hey, let's walk around the ship. Let's see, what this ship has to offer, or let's check out some of our favorite places or whatever. And so you do, you might go up the Serenity deck. You might go look at the waterworks area. You might, go up on the Lido deck, take a look around, walk through the buffet, look at the different restaurants. You might go down to the promenade deck, might walk through the casino if you're a big casino player. Whatever, you might just take a little stroll around the ship and kind of get a lay of the land, and to like, oh, well, I'm going to be here. This is where you're going to find me. And, that kind of thing. If you're a big casino player, you might be obviously very interested in taking a look at the casino, even though it's not open yet. If you're somebody that, enjoys some adult beverages, you might be looking at some of the different bars and be like, oh, I didn't even know they had this bar. This looks like a cool bar. I'm going to go here, and those types of things. So it's especially fun when it's a new ship to you, and you can kind of check out the different things. So like the Jubilee, it's laid out almost identical to the Celebration and the Mardi Gras, but they have some different bars and some different menus at those bars, and a little bit different decor and stuff like that. So it's kind of neat to see the differences between those sister ships and see if you can catch the subtleties and things like that. So and Sherry says, yeah, always checking out the casino. And the thing about the XL class is they have massive casinos. Mark says Serenity is always top of my list. Carnival Cruise Addicts, in reference to Sherry's comments, says, see you there. Yeah, you two definitely would see each other, because the Carnival Cruise Addicts, they are definitely going to be found in the casino if they're on a cruise. At least you'll find them there a lot of the times. Okay. Mustard drink, let the ship wandering begin. All right, that's what Michelle says. And yeah. All right. So Number 8, so you've gotten through the muster drill, you drop the bags off, you get back to the room, and here is when I say number 8, unpack if possible to be fully on vacation. All right. I totally advise this, right? Now, let me just say, I am the person, this is the bad part. I'm the person that brings my bag back home from vacation, and sometimes it will sit there for a week before I unpack. Okay. I'm not interested in, putting everything away necessarily once I get back. Sometimes I do, but there's been multiple times that bag, sometimes I get back and the next day I got to go to work. So in my defense, I'm tired from travel, whatever. I'm like, I'll get to it tomorrow. But then I'm busy all through the week. Sometimes I'm teaching and I'm coaching. So I got a lot going on, and then I come home at night. That's not at the top of my list of priorities is to unpack. So it might wait all the way until the weekend, a week later. But when I get on a ship, though, I can't wait to unpack. As soon as I get the opportunity to unpack, I want to do it. Why? Because for me, once all of that stuff is done, it's like the muster drill. And it's like, getting through all these little hoops and everything that you have to do in order to be officially on vacation. I feel like once you've unpacked and everything is out and hung up and wherever it is you want to be, you're done. Now, everything else, you're on vacation. That's it. And so the vacation has officially begun. You can start planning everything out, and that's where it goes. So yeah, for number 8, I have unpack if possible to fully be on vacation. And I know some people, they'll wait and they'll go do stuff before they unpack, which, I guess is fine. But then you still have hanging over your head, oh, I got to unpack. Oh, I got to unpack. Like I said, I just like to get that done and then be ready to go. All right, number 9. And I know not everybody does this because honestly, you might be having fun doing something somewhere else. But for number 9, I have the sail away party. And depending upon where you're sailing out of, a lot of these ports are really a lot of fun to take in the views as you leave, the cruise port. I mean, Miami, for example, is just beautiful. One of my favorite ports to leave out of. Somebody just recently left out at Tampa, and I think it was Liz and Chris, wasn't it? You guys, Carnival Cruise Addicts. I think I saw Chris talking about it on the video, talking about going under the bridge or whatever when you go out of Tampa. And I've done that once or twice before, and that really is cool. So there's always something cool to see, when you're going out of port. Some ports are better than others. I mean, the Port Canaveral, it's okay, but I mean, it doesn't measure up with Miami or something like that, in my opinion, just because there's nothing like really cool that you're going to go. I mean, you don't go past a lot of buildings. You're not going past South Beach and people waving at you and all that kind of stuff. So, some of the ports, like if you go out of New Orleans, you're going down the Mississippi River. I always thought that was cool, to be out there and just kind of be cruising down the river. I thought that was a cool deal. And Sherry says, Jay and I did on January. All right. Seg says, I've done that. Also a must see. Yeah. Witchling. Hey, Witchling. I think you're new, but thanks and for joining and welcome to the show. Whatever floats your boat says, leaving out of New Orleans in 20 days. I love leaving out of New Orleans. Originally, I had the Liberty booked for spring break, which goes out of New Orleans, about the same time, either the 22nd or 23rd. And I was super excited about leaving out of New Orleans, but I spent so much time in the casino and I earned quite a few points that they offered me, a way better deal to go on the Jubilee. And they even gave me cheers for the duration of the cruise on the Jubilee for the same time. So it's just like, okay, I mean, it's the Jubilee. I hadn't been on the Jubilee yet. So as much as I love going out of New Orleans, that's why I switched over to the Jubilee. But originally, I was going to be going out of New Orleans, and I love the food in New Orleans. I love getting there a day early. A lot of times hitting Bourbon Street and just going down there and having some fun that night before. It's like you get an extra day of vacation, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Texas Cruiser says we went under the bridge in New York on the Liberty of the Seas once. It was pretty darn cool. Yeah, that is really cool, going under those bridges and the ship's so high up that you can see right under the bridge. Cruise Life TV says, funny story, best sail away party. First time on the Mardi Gras, another Carnival ship passed us on the way out, and all we saw was the tip of the smokestack pass by. Hold on a second, because I missed. Did I miss Cruise Life TV? Oh my goodness. I am getting all excited about this list here. We got to write you all down here. We got Cruise Life TV, Greg and Michelle, and you got us started on the next list. And I was so up into everything. I didn't do that, right? I'm pretty sure I didn't. And if I did, then, well, I guess it's because we're finishing the bottle. Oh, look at this. Look at this. And it's almost like a perfect shot, too. We finished the bottle of Old Forester, and that was a big bottle, too. But I think I was using some of that. So next up, we're going to crack open the Buffalo Trace. So, Rick, I think I'll be doing at least one shot. But Greg and Michelle, Zoe, come here. She's falling asleep on the floor here. But thank you. I'll do my shot first, and Zoe wasn't ready. Thank you for that and finishing the bottle. And a high five for Cruise Life TV. Big high five for Cruise Life TV. What do you say? She said a big hearty thank you. And thank you so much for that. All right, let's go on down. Down Under Cruisers says, need to work. See you all. Thanks for joining Down Under Cruisers. Sherry Bell says, I miss OCD, so everything has to be put away. Yeah, you know what, Sherry, I'm like that on the cruise. You know, I mean, I like getting unpacked and have everything ready to go. So I feel you on that. Rick says, I don't unpack all the way. I leave some of the clean clothes and other items in the suitcase for the next cruise. I do take out the dirt. Oh, you're talking about once you come back. I got you. Okay. Some of these. All right. Chris Moss here. Another super chat. Chris Moss, good evening. I just got off work. Have a celebration shot and a treat for Zoe. 38 days until Discovery Princess to the Mexican Riviera. And Chris, you, sir, are getting us to crack the brand new bottle here. Still got the little paper on it of Buffalo Trace, which is a great bourbon. And thank you for that. And I do believe, Rick, are you still drinking the Buffalo Trace? Because Rick was drinking this earlier. He said he was. I don't know if he still is. But we got the Buffalo Trace here already. And Zoe heard that shot being poured, so she knew that meant a treat for her. Let me write your name down here, Chris. So, Chris, you are numbers 16 through 30. We have already given away one shirt, one by Sherry, which she has given to the Carnival Cruise Addicts. And this is from Chris. High five for Chris. Hit the hand. What do you say? She says, Zoe says a big thank you. And a big thank you from me, Chris. Appreciate it. All right. Thank you, sir. Cheers. Everybody's saying cheers. Yeah, Rick, obviously you saw that I just did. Now open that Buffalo Trace. Ooh, oh, Rick's doing some drinking tonight. Okay. Oh, Rick, by the way, just curious if you're going to be in town and maybe we could meet up at a bar or something if Galveston's your hood. And because I'm coming in the night before, so I'll be down there March 21st. So you'll have to message me or something. Maybe we can hook up, have a drink the night before my cruise on the Jubilee. And you should know Galveston well. So let me know. All right. Michelle B., I'm a cherry vodka girl, but I know Buffalo Trace ain't easy to find here in Bellows Creek. Yes, it's not easy to find. I mean, it really is. Honestly, most of the shops here, Benny's is a popular one, and they usually say limit of one. They'll only let you buy one bottle. And yeah, the Texas Cruiser says, yep, Buffalo Trace is pretty good and absolutely is. Will G says trying some Stag 125.9. Is that 125 as in 125 proof? Man, are you still with us, Will? If you just drank that, you might not be. Sea Lake Journey says I have the hard stuff, water. And Carnival Cruise Addicts got to hydrate at Sea Lake Journeys. Yes, you do. And the only thing I got to hydrate with, 125 proof. Oof. Will G, if I was doing 125 proof shots, I'd be on the floor already. Thank God that the Old Forester is under 90 proof, and I think Buffalo Trace is right at 90 proof. I'm pretty sure it is. So the closest thing to hydration right now is Coke and more bourbon. All right, Texas Cruiser. Yeah, me too. Okay, so the final one. We're doing the sail away party. That is number 9. So you've unpacked. You've obviously gotten on the ship. You saw the ship. We went through everything. Just go through, numbered all the ones that we did so far. At the beginning, I said this is kind of a bonus one, but before the night before you wake up at night, the day 0 is what I call it. Day 0. So the day before, the evening before cruise day, know where your documents are, have everything packed, have your documents in, one pocket of a backpack or something like that before you leave the house or get in the car or, get in your taxi or whatever to the airport. Double check, make sure all those documents are there. Then, cruise day, once you're approaching the ship and you see the ship for the first time, that's dork mode. I think all of us do it. Everybody gets excited. We see that ship and we're like, there it is. There it is. That is the ship we're getting on. Because there's times you could show up and it might not be there. How many of us have experienced that? I have definitely experienced that. It got late into port and super late. One cruise, in fact, just a year or two ago, didn't end up leaving until like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And I think it was like pushing midnight or something. They didn't even have a sail away party because it would have been illegal for like the fun squad to work because they had to entertain the previous guests that before they had left the ship. So there's some rule about them working more than 12 hours or something like that. So they couldn't do it. So we didn't have a sail away party, but it was super, super cool getting a cruise out of Miami at night to see the skylight, the buildings all lit up and everything. That was a really cool thing. So yeah, number 1 was see the ship. Number 2, make sure you have your boarding passes and all your other documents out, your passports, this and that, and have that ready so it can be quick check-in, easy in and out. Number 3, wait impatiently for the announcement to board. That's one thing we get excited about. If we have to wait at all, we can't wait for them to call our name or call our boarding group and start to get up to get on the ship. Number 4, do the dorky. Here we go. Walk up the ramp to the ship. Once we're on that ramp to the ship, that little glass ramp, And, we're literally steps away from getting on the ship. We all do it. We all get excited about it. If you're a cruise content creator, I honestly believe it's illegal if you don't film that as you're boarding the ship. So I think virtually every cruise content creator ever has always filmed that part of, getting on the ship. So it's illegal if you don't. Like, you could lose your cruise creator license, from what I understand. So it's very important. Okay, so number 5, 6, and 7, I said are interchangeable, but drinks and lunch, drop the bags off if you can. Number 6 was the muster drill. And then number 7 was soak in the first views of the ship as you plan where you'll spend a lot of your time that week as you cruise. Number 8 was unpack, if possible, to fully be on vacation. Number 9 was the sail away party. And number 10, you've gotten everything done. Plan your evening and embrace your traditions. So one of my traditions is to go to the steakhouse on the first night. And that's one of the ways that I really embrace my cruise, is I want to start it off with a great meal. And, obviously, going to the steakhouse is a cool experience, a lot of fun. And I like my watermelon martinis at the steakhouse. And I like my steak medium rare with a baked potato. And yeah, that's just some good stuff there. So yeah, that's what I got. And Carnival Cruise Addicts, yes, they have free wine. And I'll tell you what, the free wine is usually not that important to me because I have Cheers. But I'll tell you what, it is going to be important on this next cruise, because the next cruise is going out of Galveston. So any of you that have cruised out of Galveston know that even if you buy Cheers, it doesn't kick in until the second day, because they have some weird rule in Texas. And Texas are big drinkers, so it's weird that this would be in Texas. But they don't let you drink if you're on the Cheers package until the second day. Like, I mean, you can't buy the Cheers package. You just have to pay for all your drinks, up front that day one. So you could spend some money on that first day. And the second day, your drink package kicks in, and yeah, then you're good. One thing I am a little excited about, since I have free drinks all over the ship and it's through the casino, somebody told me, this is the first time I've ever gotten this. I'm not high up like the Carnival Cruise Addicts, and Sherry's probably in that same boat because she likes the casino a lot. But, I guess I don't gamble as much to get in that high class of, free drinks all over the ship. So this is a rare occasion for me on March 22nd that I'm super excited about. But I was told that leaving out of Galveston, that once the casino opens, then I'll be able to get my free drink. So I'll almost, not right when I get on the ship, but once it reaches international waters, my free Cheers package should kick in. So it should kick in, the night before everybody else's Cheers package kicks in. I hope that's the case. Will G says Royals drink package works the first day out of Galveston, just have to pay taxes. Yeah, you know what? And I don't know what the deal is with that. Like, why Carnival can't do that. It seems like it would be advantageous for Carnival to do that. My thought is that they would make more money, because obviously they're charging people a good amount of money for each day that they're on that Cheers package. So I don't know why Carnival doesn't do that. But obviously they don't. And I think a lot of people, would really. Carnival Cruise Addicts, you're going to have to explain this more to me, but they said free drinks-ish. So, yeah, I'm hoping that, because they said mine is free drinks all over the ship. So I'm hoping that I can go anywhere on the ship and get free drinks, that I won't have to go just to the casino. Let's see here. Sherry says, when me, you, and Jay, Debbie, Rick went out on the celebration, we didn't leave port until, yes, Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, Sherry and Jay, I forgot it was that cruise because James Pope was with me. And yeah, we went on the celebration. We didn't leave port until like 10:45 p.m. But yeah, I remember I took some video and stuff from that ship. There was a wreck, which is ship actually sank, like a sailboat or something like that. And honestly, I felt like the cruise ships could have navigated around it because it was off to the side. But I guess the port people or whatever were trying to be super safe about it, and that's why they kept all the ships out until that wreckage was cleared, and then they finally let people start coming in. But yeah, that's a bummer, and they don't really offer you anything either. Like you lose, all that time on the ship, and that's a little bit of a bummer. Um, and that you don't get anything for that, but it is what it is. It happens. There's those things. If you're on the other end of that and you get to stay on the ship for longer, that could be cool. Sherry says, I stopped by Hard Rock Casino and won $900. That's what I'm talking about. That's how to use your time wisely right there. I'm thinking about doing Vegas in late April or May, because that's right in between. So I got the cruise in March, and then not another cruise again until the latter part of June. So need a little something in between there to kind of get that fix. So I'm thinking Vegas. Haven't been to Vegas in a couple of years or over a year, and yeah, I'm thinking a little bit of Vegas. Carnival Cruise Addicts, you guys want to go? We can make it a group thing. Maybe Sherry and Jay want to go to Vegas too. I was looking at the first weekend in May. Post Malone and Jelly Roll are playing at Allegiant Stadium. Tickets are only about $100. I want to go see the Sphere. I wouldn't mind seeing that Circus Swim Stadium thing, but yeah, that'd be a fun time. All right, you guys. Well, we are over an hour. Tim says I need to be with you, and maybe your luck will rub off on me. Yeah, I agree. I think I need to get a seat next to Sherry because she seems to always have the luck at the casino and winning shirts and stuff like that. So we need to all sit down next to the machine next to Sherry, and hopefully we can win. TNT's Adventures to Sea. Sorry I missed it. And we just did some dinner and it was great. So next time, but we will see you all later. A great show. Thank you all for participating. Thank you all to the super chatters. Let me just make sure I got everybody. Chris was the last one. Okay, cool. So we had Frankie Floyd, Rick Wade, Tim G, Sherry B, Michelle B, CLTV, and Chris Moss, all on the super chats today. Thank you all so much. Congratulations to our winners. Sherry won the drawing again this week, and she donated that over to Carnival Cruise Addicts. And it was a fun show. Everybody mark down March 18th. We are going to have Cookie, the legendary cruise director. Hopefully, you never know, March 18th could be an announcement about somebody coming back. We hope, right? Or it might not be, but we'll find out what life is like after Carnival. I can tell you, for those of you that have been following Cookie, that he has been back on a Carnival ship recently and doing some work, maybe or maybe not as a cruise director, but definitely working on a Carnival ship recently, if you haven't been following him. So who knows? He could be back as a cruise director. We'll find out. You'll get to ask him questions in the comments, and I'll have definitely some questions. And our legendary guest cruise director also that I cannot wait to talk to. It's going to be such an honor to have them on with Cookie. I mean, we're going to have two legends on the same show at one time. Arguably the biggest show ever that we've had on Coach Cruise. So March 18th, just about a month away. And don't miss that one. All right, everybody, we will see you all later. And thank you so much. And peace and happy cruising. Bye-bye. or as